Shaka on the beats. Shaka on the beats. Shaka on the beats.
YouTube, what's happening? So, I'm gonna try to make this a really quick video. So, yesterday I dropped a video, and midway of me talking about, through my video, I started talking about credit cards and when to pay and all that good stuff. And MDG Collections actually reached out to me, and he was saying, while I was running my mouth, I may have said something the wrong way in regards to the credit card. So I'll clear that up right now. So I did a video a while back in regards to how I paid on my credit card to get my credit score to jump up. So what I was saying on that last video, so if you have a credit card, like let's take January. All right, we're in January 2nd right now. So if you have a credit card and let's say the due date is today, January 2nd. What I was trying to say in the video was, if your due date is, for instance, January 2nd, your billing cycle end date was back in December, probably December 15th, December 16th. What I was trying to say, if I confused anyone, is to look at your statement for your credit card bills and see what your billing cycle end date is. That's the date that you need to make your payment before. So like I'll use the same example. So if your due date is January 2nd, your card is maxed out and your due date is today, and you pay on the card, you pay the card off in its entirety today. The credit bureau took a snapshot of how much available credit you had back in December, which was December 15th, 16th, which was your billing cycle end date. So even though you paid off your credit card on the due date, the credit bureau is still reflecting that your card is maxed out. Even though if you log into your Capital One or American Express, whatever you have, it's going to show a zero balance. But the credit bureau is going to see your card as being still maxed out. So I hope I'm clearing it up for you guys. So that's what I did for a year and a half, and to enable me to get my Scat Pack. I recognize my due date, so I'll let everybody know now, your due date for your credit cards is trash. Look at your billing statement and see when your billing cycle end date is. That billing cycle end date could possibly be 2 to 3 weeks before your due date. That's the date that you need to have that card paid off. If you're able to pay your card off to zero. I borrowed from myself. I'll tell you how I borrowed from myself. So I used the whole $200. I bought gas and stuff. So I maxed out the credit card, $200. Maybe 2-3 days before the billing cycle end date, I paid the card off in full. So by, I'll say 3-4 days after I paid the card off, after that billing cycle end date, and I saw that my balance was at zero, I used the card again. I maxed out the card again. It was only $200. I maxed it out again, but the credit bureau is reflecting that my card is zero. The balance is zero. And that's merely because I paid the card off before the billing cycle end date. So I borrowed from myself. You know how you go to, back in the day, I did it. I don't have any shame. I used to go to cash advance places where you go in, you're at a point where you're borrowing money, and then when you get paid, your money is already accounted for, so you're going back again. It's a never-ending cycle. So what I did was, I did a way of borrowing from myself. I would use the card up because I knew I would have enough money to pay it off, and I just paid it off before the billing cycle end date. Some people say, hey man, I'm tight on money, but I can't pay the whole card off. Pay the card off and then you can use the card again a few days after the billing cycle end date. Then that way, if you constantly do that over and over, it will go up. So eventually that $200 card turned into $5,000. You know what I'm saying? In a year and a half. Not a year and a half. I won't lie to you guys. That was not a year and a half, but it gradually went up in increments of $500. You know, after they seen I had 6 months to a year of on-time payments and all that, and so they bumped it up to $500, and another time it was $750, and then from there it took off. They just said, all right, this guy he knows what he's doing with his credit card, so let's go ahead and give him $5,000. So cool, that was just one of my cards. But that's essentially how I got my Scat Pack. I flexed and worked a $200 credit card till I got exactly what I wanted. Well, I got my score. I kind of got my score where I wanted, but it wasn't quite there. So even still to this day, even though I got it up really high, I'm still grinding. You know, I'm still doing little things to try to tweak it, but it's all good. But shouts out to MDG Collections for checking out my video. Shouts out to Kevin Van Voris and Uzumaki. Everybody that checked out the video, that hit me up and, you know, reposted this, you know, the link for my video on IG. I really appreciate you guys. Shouts out to SRT Mush. He hit me up and told me it was an informative video that I did. So, and like I said, MDG Collections, he brought it to my attention that I may have confused. It's very possible that I would have confused someone on how I said it because it wasn't the main topic of my story. So, but anyway, that's all I got, guys. If you need to, man, hit me up. You can send me a message on IG, email me. You need a beat, whatever. Just hit me up, all right? And I'll catch you guys on the next one, all right? Peace.